Everybody, and welcome to the class. I'm Dr. White. I will be your instructor for this course, this advanced writing in the business professions, and I am really excited to get to know you over the course of the semester. I hope that we all become exceptionally tight virtual colleagues, and I'm hoping that you guys can get a lot out of this class. In this video, I'm just going to go ahead and cover the course description, my own expectations, and what I think we're doing in here. Most of this should supplement the syllabus. I don't think any of it will be too radically unfamiliar, but I do want you to hear it from me, see my face a little bit, and know that I'm here to help you. It's the most important thing I can tell you as we get into this here. So, what do we have? Well, we know that this is AWD, Advanced Writing in the Disciplines. That's a course title that has some connotations to it, some things that maybe we don't always think of, such as what does it mean to be an advanced writer? What does it mean to write for a discipline? What is a discipline? See, all of these questions that you don't even think about. Anyway, we'll get to that through the course as we go through the semester and deal with the assignments because, frankly, by advanced, we typically mean research informed as well as writing for specific audiences and purposes. And by disciplines, we mean, generally speaking, we mean ways of knowing. We mean ways of thinking and doing things that apply to types of knowledge and practices that define what the work is that we do professionally. So these are all discipline specific things. We'll get into it. Anyway, so what do you care about? You care that this is a course specifically for students in Diamore McKim School of Business. You care that we're going to write in professional, public, and academic genres, and you can see the cursor here. I'll highlight. Whoops, I went away. My bad. So we'll write in different genres. We'll write different things. Except I didn't write that. That's the course catalog description. So let's actually hear from me and what you're really going to do. What are we really going to do? To be in here, you need to study a business-related field. Most of you should have a major, maybe a minor in Dimmock McKim. Sometimes I know I have some students who aren't. I'm not sure how the registration specifics work. That's a little of my pay grade. Anyway, like all iterations of AWD, this course is grounded in the understanding, yada yada, that effective communication is essential to any discipline. In other words, no matter what you're studying, and in here we're all studying business-related something or other, but even if you were a chemical engineer or a sociology major, effective communication, frankly, will make you effective, both as a student, as a researcher, if you decide to pursue advanced studies, and ultimately in practice as a member of a profession. I'm sure on your co-ops you've noticed that effective communication is like the single most important thing that you can do. So, this semester you can expect to develop a strategic understanding of how knowledge and ideas are communicated within and without business-related fields. You'll accomplish this by blah, 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 blah. These could include analytical reports, proposals, explainer articles, presentations, individually, collaboratively, variety of sources, expertise. Okay, that's a lot of words that mean a lot of things to me. What does this mean? It means that you're going to be answering some common shared questions across all of these assignments. Who's going to read this piece of writing that I am making? Why am I making this piece of writing? Why does my reader need this piece of writing? Why do I need this piece of writing? What is this piece of writing? What is it supposed to do? What is the environment into which it will be published? You might notice that it seems like I'm talking about things that may circulate outside of classrooms. That's accurate. We're going to write probably one big assignment and maybe a couple of small things that you might consider classroom writing. Essays, essentially, the kind of writing that you would do for school. But most of the writing that we're going to do this semester is the kind of writing that ordinarily you might associate more with probably not co-op, but graduate studies or advanced studies, maybe co-op to an extent. At any rate, what I want you to get away from right away is that this is not a class in essay writing. The 5-paragraph essay, the expository essay, beyond our first assignment, and even that one isn't really in that particular genre, the kind of writing we're going to do in here is much more use value oriented rather than a kind of exploration of an idea. So anyway, what do you need? Congratulations. The one thing you might need to purchase, I noticed I said might, is a $5 membership to the website Medium. That's going to be near the beginning of Module 3. We'll talk about the structure of the course in a minute. Don't do it until we start that module because I don't want you to have to like get a second one. I know. You guys are business students and I'm like, $5 is too much to pay. That's me. It's not you. It's me. All right, so what do you care about? You care about the course breakdown. Module 1, Discourse, Community, and Genre Analysis, 25% of your grade. This is the most classroom-oriented project that we're going to do this semester. It is an essay assignment, more of a critical analysis, slight difference, although for your purposes, probably not much. Your reader here is me, and this is essentially going to introduce you, the student, to your discourse community, which I'll get to in a minute in the other video. But what you really want to know is that this is the module that's going to prepare you for the work that you'll do the rest of the semester. For the rest of the semester, after you complete this module, you're going to come back and refer to the key concepts that we explore in this module, and you're going to need to use some of the research that you begin to assemble as well. So the work, in a lot of senses, is kind of front-loaded with the common readings, the shared readings that we all do, as well as some of the methods that I'm going to ask you to use this semester. So Module 1 is pretty intense. It will back off after that, at least in terms of new stuff that you're learning. I'm going to ask you to apply it in different ways and make different things with it. But so be aware Module 1 is probably the heaviest workload. Module 2, Scholarly Writing. Now, you'll notice that in Module 2 here, whoops, didn't mean to vanish, I have 3 different assignments. So, what does that mean? It means that each of these 3 assignments, the annotated bibliography, the conference abstract, and the research synthesis, are all graded assignments. Each will have a peer review, maybe not the annotated bib, I have to check on that. But in each case, it's a graded assignment through your own writing process. You repeat the writing process for each graded assignment. However, I want you to think of these 3 assignments as one module, okay? Because when we think of them together, we think of each of these individual writing processes as one larger process in research and writing based on that research. And that's really important because each of these 3 assignments builds on the previous one in terms of both skills that you'll develop and also ways of reading and thinking that you're going to need to then apply in different genres for different audiences. So you'll be using the same research topic for each of these 3 projects, and together they add up to half of your grade for the course. The 3 assignments that we have, well, let me put it this way. In the first assignment, you're going to get a sense for what your field is, what characterizes your discipline, and more specifically, writing in your field, and who are the people who participate. In the second graded assignment, the annotated bibliography, you are going to collect a representative sampling of, I think I have 8 sources that characterize scholarly writing in your field. So what is it? Think about it. Module 1, who are these people? What is this thing that we're doing? Module 2, what are some examples of this? Module 3, conference abstract. Very similar to an elevator pitch, where you distill your research idea down to about 300 words and propose it to an invested scholarly and or professional audience. So here's like the nugget of my idea based on my research. And then the research synthesis, where you take most of your sources and expand on them and talk about how they can create what is called, I'm going to scroll down a little bit here. Here we go. A short research synthesis about a relevant ongoing issue in the field, and you'll demonstrate comprehension and application of key terms and concepts, synthesize research-based arguments and findings, all these good things. Basically, you're going to say, okay, here's all these pieces that I've assembled. If we look at them together, here are some shared methods and values, and here's what I think still needs to be done. So you're essentially going to offer your informed opinion of the direction you think future research should be taken in your field. So you see how those 3 build off each other? In Module 1, we identify the community that we're writing for and we're part of. Module 2, we start with the annotated bib where we gather examples of them, then we propose an idea in the abstract, and then we go ahead and start writing it with a research synthesis. It's like meeting people at a party. It's you know what it is? It's like getting an invitation to a party. Then it's like, okay, who's here? Oh, okay, here's how I'm going to present myself to these people. And then with the research synthesis, you go out and you actually have your conversation. And you hope that no one double dips. No one likes a double dipper. Okay, and then lastly, the medium composition. And you'll notice I use the word composition rather than essay here because I want you to think of it as a composition. It's not an essay. It's not something you're writing for 10th grade English on symbolism in the scarlet letter. Uh, Medium, for those of you who don't know, is a really cool website where people who are really smart in a knowledge-related field write for a public audience. So now that you've become an expert in whatever this inquiry question is that matters to your field, you say, hey, members of the public, Uncle Jim at Thanksgiving dinner, here's why this matters to you, and I'm going to explain a couple of key concepts in a way that ties into public concerns and the kind of problems that you might encounter in your everyday life, even just things that you might be interested in. And you get to use different types of media here, video, audio, images. You do a lot of things to reach a wider audience, and it's a totally different rhetorical situation. Another concept we'll get to. All right. So what else do you care about with this course? Peer review. Peer review is a critical part of the writing process. It characterizes the way that scholars and professionals in any field write for one another. Because guess what? Once you get out of school, there's no teacher. So it's up to you as a peer to decide what counts as something that should be published or not. In other words, what gets to count as knowledge? Well, peer review determines that. So I've built peer review into this course pretty heavily, and your peer reviews will count for 10% of each project grade. There is some reading on peer review. I will provide guidance for each of your project's peer reviews with instruction sheets, and I'm going to give feedback on your peer reviews. But I want you to take it seriously because, again, I'm here to help you this semester. Beyond this semester, though, you need to learn how to do it. So anyway, there's that. A note on participation. So this class moves fast and it's all online. That's a dangerous combination. Uh, every low stakes assignment, the kind of homework assignments you'll have a few times a week, if you don't do it by the time it's due, you're going to lose 1% of your final grade immediately. The exception to that, of course, is if you email me and say, hey, I'm going to be unavailable for this time and I can't do it in advance because it requires a conversation. Okay. If you have something that you need to talk to me about, extenuating circumstances, be in touch. Email me. I'm happy to help you and accommodate reasonable things that need to happen. I really, really am. I want to do that for you. But for the most part, we need to really keep moving here. So read this policy, okay? Read this policy. It really matters. Beyond that, I have your final grade equation here. It's pretty easy. Remember, the peer review grade is built into the module grades. It's pretty easy to figure out. Let's see, what else do you really care about? Writing program learning goals. If you're curious, you should really read these because, frankly, they inform the way my projects are designed and my grading criteria. So it's even though it's kind of jargony and more for me than for you, I think that you might find that your work will do these things in a really good way. What else might be interesting for you to care about? Writing program minimum grade requirement, you need a C or better. Late policy. Module assignments will be penalized 1 letter grade for each day late they are submitted. I have to keep firm to that because it's a fast course. Again, if you need an extra couple of days, shoot me an email. Let me know why. And unless it's like a really weird reason, I'll probably say yes. But you have to communicate that to me ahead of time, okay? Okay, we are going to use Turnitin links for submissions because this is an online class. That is the only way that you can submit work that I will grade. You have to click 2 things. You have to click submit, and then you have to click confirm. If you don't click both buttons when you submit your work, it won't go through. So make sure you click it both ways. Also, Safari tends to not like Turnitin, so Chrome or Firefox are the preferred browsers for that purpose. Here are discussion guidelines and expectations. read them on your own. I think it's pretty common sense. Use the best English you can. For many of you, English won't be your first language. That's okay. You don't have to be perfect, but do the best you can. If there's an ongoing issue with the quality of your prose, I'll be in touch. Let's see. Be as specific as possible when you're engaging with online conversation. The discussion board is where the bulk of this class will happen. So the more you're able to quote specific words and passages, if it makes sense, or offer feedback, please do that. Don't just allude to general parts. Just copy and paste, half of a sentence and say what you think it means. Practice the kinds of analytical writing skills that we're going to use in all of our uh, projects in this course. Let's see, academic integrity. Again, because it's an online course, I have to enforce this pretty strictly. We'll speak a little more about this in the context of the specific assignments. Um, but if you have questions, let me know. Things that tend to come up, mostly paraphrasing, unattributed quotations. Um, rule of General rule: if you're gonna paraphrase, throw in an in-text attribution first. Say something like paraphrasing Smith, blah blah blah, and then give me a page number at the end of the paraphrase section. And it's also important to restructure it, but again, very specific issue for this over general video. Let's see, university resources, writing center, great resource. Use it, especially if you're on campus. And I think that's about it. So I think I've gone on a little bit long in this video, so I'm going to cut it. Happy semester. Any questions, post them in the course Q&A threads. I want to be available to you. I want to help you. Reach out with anything, and I promise I'll do my best to get back to you ASAP. Have a great semester. I think you're guys going to have some fun.